Welcome back to the channel, and this is part 3 of our valve creation. So if you haven't seen the video in part 1, we completed this part of detail item number 1. And in part number 2, what we were able to do is create the washer here, this rod, as well as a spring. Now in this video, we're just going to take our time and deal with this valve nut here at the top of it. So in this one, we're going to take a look at doing an actual cut thread into this one. And we're going to go ahead and create this bolt kind of pattern at the top. So remember that on part 1, we created the threads using the hole command. And in this one, we're going to be using the actual cut, or I'm trying to think of the proper terminology for it, but we're going to do a sweep revolve around it, and it's actually going to cut from that part. So let's go ahead and jump over to Solidworks and get started. Alright, so back here in SolidWorks, we're just going to continue from the spring that we created last time. We'll simply start off by clicking the new icon here. We're going to create a part, and we'll go ahead and hit the OK button. Okay. Now, we're going to break this into 2 parts, which is going to be, nice and easy for us, and hopefully it should be something simple to create. I first can figure out how I want to create this first part. I can either use a revolve or I can use a extruded circle. So either one of them is fine with us. I think it's going to be easier just to knock out an extruded base, and we're just going to create a circle to create this cylinder, right? So I'm going to select there on the top plane. I'll go ahead and create a circle here and start here at the origin, and then we'll go ahead and put a dimension on this. And let's see, we're going to make the overall length of this, I'm thinking 55. All right, so I typed in. All right, so we do have our circle already created. That's exactly what we needed. Let's go ahead and hit the check on this one. So we're going to exit out of the sketch. It should bring me back to the extrude command. I'm going to send this going down the other direction, and the distance of it will be 16. Okay, so that's the first thing that I needed to create. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and start creating my helix here. So the way I'm going to create the helix is I'll go ahead and select this top face here. Go ahead and select the sketch icon. I'm going to select this edge here, and then I'm just going to tell it to convert those entities. Once I've done that, I'll go ahead and hit the exit sketch. And then from here, I should have everything I need to create that helix. Okay, so make sure that you're in the Features tab here. We'll go to the curves, and then we'll select the helix spiral. Now it's looking for a circle as a reference, so therefore when I click this circle, it's going to come up. Now it's going to try to assume that you're doing the same thing we did before. In this case, that's not what we're going to be creating, but we do know the height and we do know the pitch of this. We're going to send this going in the other direction as well. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is specify the pitch and the height. And in our case, let's see, the height of this has to be greater than 16. So long as this number is greater than 16, and I'll go ahead and make it something like 20. And then the pitch of this is whatever that angle is between it. So there you're going to have to reference over there to the pitch profile or the cutter profile, and you're going to see that the pitch is labeled as 5. Okay? Now I need to tell it which direction I can do. I can, kind of drag it here at this arrow here. And that's going to give me that direction that I need it to go. Once I have it going downward in this direction, and let's see, I have it going down at 32 right now. 34. But as long as this number here is greater than 16, because that's the height that we extruded that at. Last thing I'm going to do is specify where do I want this angle at, right? So we can tell it that we want that angle to start at 0, at 90, and I like to keep these in those terms, 0, 90, 180, and 270, right? So I'll go ahead and put this one at 90, and you can see it starts right over here at this corner. Let's go ahead and check this and say, okay, that's what we need. While I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and put a chamfer here at the bottom. So the way I'm going to do that is just go to the fillet command, go ahead and hit chamfer, it doesn't really specify the size of the chamfer that I need. So we're going to kind of play with some numbers here. Let's see what let's see, that thing is 55 wide. Let's see what a number, let's make it a 2. That sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and put a chamfer of 2 on here. That looks great. All right. Next, remember where you put that start of your helix at, right? So I have it at this corner here. So therefore, I'm going to use a sketch. I'll go ahead and expand this part here. And I'm going to be using the plane that goes right through it, which in our case is going to be that front plane. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start off by sketching this cutter profile located here on the side. And I'm just going to use regular lines to create this. So I'll do a line and I'll just go up. And I'm going to kind of over exaggerate this a little bit, and then we'll come back and we will clean this up here in a second. Okay. So there's my cutter profile that I'm going to need. If I'm able to select that center and that center, and I keep calling them center midpoints, and I'll make them horizontal to each other, that will keep everything kind of symmetric the way we want it. So now when I go to put my dimensions on here, I can get away with putting a dimension going right across here. And we're going to set this equal to 60. Okay. And then we do know the distance in between these 2 points. So I do know the distance from here to here. And it's going to be 2.70650. So I got 2.70, and then I'm going to need one more dimension on here, which is going to be located here at this point. And that dimension is set to 0.41627. All right, now I have everything that I almost need to complete this. Let's go ahead and do a couple of more things. We're going to make sure that the origin here is horizontal to one of these midpoints on my vertical lines here. So I'm going to select that one. Just tell it to make that horizontal. And as far as the distance goes, I'm going to go ahead and set it to whatever my radius is of here. So let's go ahead and put a dimension from this center to this back line. Go ahead and click here. And that number should be 55 divided by 2. All right, now we have everything that we need to go ahead and create this chamfer cut, right? Let's go ahead and exit out of here. And I see a chamfer cut, a sweeping cut. All right, so everything is completed what we needed. Let's go ahead and take a look underneath the features here. And we're going to choose sweep cut. And once I select this, it should automatically be able to find the closed profile. And if it's not, that's what it's asking me for here in the blue. So I'll go ahead and select here. And now it's going to ask me for a path. I'll go ahead and select this as my path. And it should subtract from this solid here. So let's go ahead and hit the check. Give it a second. And now you can see that it did indeed do exactly what we wanted it to do. Okay. Let's go ahead and hide our spiral here. And now we can get a real good look at what we created here. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and select this top face here, and then we'll go ahead and put a sketch on it. And now we need to go ahead and create a polygon on it. Okay, the polygon icon is going to be located here. We're going to tell it that we do have 6 sides. The inscribed to circumscribed is really not that important in here unless I have a circle that is going around. So right now it's asking me, how do I want to create this? So I'm going to start off by selecting the origin here. And then I'm just going to come out and extend it to here. Okay, so here's where the inscribed and circumscribed come into play. So you can see that this circle is inscribed, or my part is circumscribed of it, right? So inscribed means that the circle is inside of the polygon, and circumscribed means that the circle is on the outside of our polygon. So in this case, we do have a inscribed circle. But the reason I say it's not needed, because all I have to do is go ahead and select this line here and tell it that this line is going to be vertical. And then once I put my dimension from this line to this line, go ahead and click it here. That's going to give me my overall distance, which is going to be set to 65. Everything now is satisfied for my polygon here. Let's go ahead and exit out of here. And then we're going to go to the extrude. It should automatically be able to pick up what we have there. And it's going up at a height of 16. So that's what you're seeing here. Go ahead and hit the check. All right. So we have most of this thing done. We just now need to kind of put this edge here at the top. Okay. The way that we do this is, believe it or not, it's with the revolve. And it's going to be with the revolve cut. So I'm just going to go ahead and select revolve cut. And it's asking me, and I thought it would go ahead and give me an opportunity to go ahead and pick a plane. And that's what it should be doing. Let's go ahead and expand here. And we have to pick the plane. Now this is the important part. The plane that is running through one of my line sides here. So if I go ahead and go to this front plane, that's going to be the plane that I need to create on. Okay. I'm just working on this one corner. I'm going to create a line. And we're going to go from this endpoint. And we need to go straight out. See, I actually wasn't in the line command. All right, come on. And we're going to go straight out this direction. We're going to come down. And then we're going to go back to this endpoint. We're going to put some basic dimensions onto here. So we're going to put a dimension from here to here. And we have to set this equal to 30 degrees. And then we have to give a distance here. And this number can be, you know, anything that's not going to interfere with anything, but there is a too short of a distance. But I like to just kind of make sure that it's sticking out a little bit. So I'm just going to call it, let's call it 20. All right, so from this point, I have to create one more thing in order to get ready to do my sweep cut or my revolve cut here. And that's going to be able to create some kind of line of axis. So I'm just going to go to this midpoint line. Go ahead and select my origin here. I'll go ahead and click here. Let's go ahead and escape from here. And then we can go ahead and put a dimension on this line. Let's just call it 80. Once again, the dimension here is irrelevant. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and make it a center line here. So I'm just going to select it here. And let's go ahead and make it for construction. And then that should turn it into a center line. Okay. So we have everything that we needed. We have an axis of revolution. And then we have something to go around it with, right? So I'm going to exit out of the sketch here. You can see that it automatically found everything that I gave it to, right? I gave it an axis of revolution and I gave it a profile. And once I hit the OK button here, or the yes or accept button, you're going to see that it will cut it off. Just like what you would see if you kind of looked at a regular bolt up close. Okay? So that's going to be everything that we need here to construct this valve body. Just to put it right there at the top. I don't think there's any... Oh! I almost forgot there is a hole going through it. I had to think about the valve that's actually sticking through it. Let's go ahead and do this with the hole wizard. So we'll just go ahead and do a regular hole that has a size of 13. So I'll select here. I'm just going to be using a standard hole. It's not going to be a dowel hole. It's just going to be a drill hole. We can select it from here in the drop down. If I'm not mistaken, 13 should be one of them. Or we can use a custom, right? So let's go ahead and just use a custom one. And we're going to set it here at 13. As far as the end condition, we're just going to tell it to go through all. And now I'm going to go to the position. Just going to select this top face. I'm going to hover. And then I'll come down here and click right there at that point. Okay, now when I click back on type, let's go ahead and rotate it up. You can see that that hole is indeed going right through it. Let's go ahead and hit the accept button on it. And now that should be everything that we need, right? So that's going to be the valve nut all in one instance, right? So hopefully you kind of enjoyed this. This was kind of always neat to make bolts and things of that nature. And as you can see, it looks a lot more detailed, especially when you actually have the cut threads that are going through your drawings. But keep in mind, cut threads are probably not always acceptable, mainly because they do take up a little bit more memories in your file. So if that's something that you kind of concerned with on a small drawing, it's nothing. But on your larger drawings, it do play into it. So it might be easier to use the whole wizard or something along that line. Okay, but for now, I want to say thank you for watching this video. What we're going to do next is we're going to start putting all of these parts together with an assembly. And hopefully we should be able to make a drawing out of this, right? So that should be our next video, is hopefully the conclusion of this. If it's not, we will make 2 more. It might be an assembly and then a drawing video. But I would like to try to get them both done in the next video. So anyway, tune in to the next video. Thank you for sticking with me on this series here of just creating a valve here using in Solidworks. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep drafting, and I'll see you in the next video.